Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Overdress deck profile for post-Festival Booster 2023. Wanted to update a lot of the overlooked decks with the new support we got from the Festival Booster 2023. Forbidal Surrogate definitely does help with some search consistency for the Nirvana deck, just like it did with the Bastion deck, being able to search out multiple grade 4s and add them to our hands, setting up our Overdress and also our grade 4 ride target for Mahar Nirvana. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck. Our ride deck consists of our starter, which is Surprise Egg. When rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. The standard ride deck starter for D format, our grade 1, is Blaze Maiden Reno. When rode upon by Blaze Maiden Rayu, search your deck for up to 1 Trickstar, call it to rear guard, and shuffle your deck. So it gives you the search power needed for your go-to grade 0 for your Overdress plays, with our grade 2 being Blaze Maiden Rayu. When rode upon by Chakraba Divine Dragon Nirvana, search your deck for up to 1 Virina, put it into your hand, and reveal it to your opponent. So you then have the search for your grade 2 Overdress unit. Just being Virina, having an easy search for a grade 2 card makes it worthwhile to run that copy of the card, even though it's not as viable as some of the other Overdress cards we run in the deck. With our grade 3 being Chakrabarthi Divine Dragon Nirvana, we'll only run the 1 copy. You can use its ability to set up a Trickstar and Overdress on top of it, giving your Overdress units and also this unit plus 10 with a counterblast when it attacks, and then just being able to discard a card to choose a grade 0 card from your drop zone and call it to rear. Now, most of the time, you're going to rely on cards like Amelia to ride right into your grade 4, so you won't even be using your Nirvana a lot to begin with. And it's the only copy we run in the deck, so for that, our main go-to grade 4 is our Chakrabarthi True Dragon Mahar Nirvana. With this card being our grade 4, it has triple drive, and on the Vanguard circle during your turn, if you have a unit in the Overdress state, all your front row gets plus 10, so you just need 1 unit in the Overdress state. You don't need to counterblast or anything like that. Your counterblast is saved for the Vanguard circle once per turn. Counterblast 1, put a card with Nirvana and its card name from your hand or soul into your drop zone, choose grade 0 from your drop, call it to rear, and choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, and your opponent deals it 1 damage if it has 4 or less. So that means that you can build up the pressure against your opponent if they're at 4 damage, putting them at 5 damage, meaning that any of the 3 attacks you may potentially have with your front row being unable to hit, because then they'll be at their 6 damage, winning you the game. Very, very useful. And you run the 4 of, so you have the card to discard or the soul to get rid of. You don't have the Persona ride with the grade 4 units, but still very much needed. For the other grade 4 that we run in the deck, we run the 3 copies of Virina Esperdea. I only run the 3 because I really do like the search power that Forbidal Surrogate can add for the deck, which we'll go over when we get to the order card. With this card, it overdresses on Trickstar, and when placed on rear guard, if it is in the overdress state, put all Trickstar and cards with overdress from your drop zone as this unit's original dress, and once per turn on rear, when your Vanguard attacks, you can Soul Blast 1, stand this unit, and this unit gets plus 5,000 onto end of turn for each of this unit's original dress. So more power buildup, but having your multiple attacks, being able to then just restand Virina Esperdea thanks to that card. And also, you don't have to have the overdress for this restand power to work. It's just the additional plus power you can get being overdressed on top of your Trickstar that makes it come in handy. But you can always just call a second one to your rearguard circle and then have your multiple attacks thanks to both of those cards. For the grade 3s, I'm running 2 copies of our Virina Expecta. With this card, it overdresses with a unit in the overdress state. This unit gets the original power of all of its original dress, and on rearguard, when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if this unit's in the overdress state, counterblast 1, then this unit gets plus 15,000 and critical plus 1 to the end of that battle, and then put all this unit's original dress into the drop zone. So it gets the initial power of all of its original dress, so Trickstar and all of the units underneath it. Very, very strong for that setup. You can even use other cards like our Virina Valiente to overdress on top of a Trickstar or a grade 3 or less unit, and then go into Expecta, gaining all of that additional power pressure that this card can provide on rearguard. You get restanding power with Valiente, but you really only need 2 copies for it. You have plenty of search power thanks to your triple drive and plenty of other overdress units that we also go into. These cards are also in the deck to provide more of a power boost to our Virina Esperdea that we run in the deck to add as its original dress. For the grade 2s, I'm running 4 copies of Virena Arcs. This card was recently reprinted in the Festival Booster as well with an alternate art, but I'm still a big fan of the original art before that, just making it more affordable for you to potentially build the deck as well. You overdress with Trickstar when it's placed on rear. If it's in the overdress state, Karen +1, draw 2 cards, and it gets plus 5,000 to end turn. Great early game for an overdress play because you'll call Trickstar on your grade 2 ride, being able to call that Trickstar to one of your other rear guard columns, overdressing into arcs, and then you have a 15k attack unit, and if you get a trigger, all the more powerful for you to swing into your opponent with. And then lastly, for the grade 2s, the 1 copy of the Virena. It's searchable off of Rayu. That's why we run the 1 copy to begin with, just so you can add to your hand. There's a chance you'll damage this card or open it up in your hand, but then you can just save the Soul Blast power for your Asperideas if you do open it up early game. For our grade 1s, I am running 3 copies of Blaze Maiden Amelia with this card on rear. If you have a Vanguard with Nirvana, its card name, and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. Karen +1, put this into your soul, choose up to 1 unit with Nirvana from your hand, and ride it as stand. If you rode, you cannot ride by card effects until end of turn. So this is just to get you to grade 4, so if your opponent did go first against you, you have more of a pressure buildup to use against them, being able to have a grade 4 with triple drive, and then also being able to use Mahar Nirvana's own skill of sending the grade 3 Nirvana from your soul to the drop to deal your opponent 1 damage. And then also the 2 copies of the Blaze Maiden Ximena. It's a searcher just when placed on rear. Karen +1, checking top 7 of your deck and revealing a card with overdress from among them and putting it into your hand. So there's a good chance with all of the different overdress units that we're running in the deck that you'll reveal one off of this card. It does take up a counterblast, but much needed if you need a specific one for one of your plays, especially Asperidea. With the last of the grade 1s just being 4 copies of Twin Buckler Dragon. You could put Elementaria Sanctitude, as this is a triple drive deck. You could go up against other decks with triple drive. You could just replace one of the Twin Bucklers for that spot. With our grade 0 being the 4 copies of Trickstar, just needed for your overdress plays. So we do run 4 copies of this card. You'll get the search off of the Reno for the first one. Then you'll just have to draw into the rest of them to have 2 units with overdress. Otherwise, you'll rely on Nirvana to call out this grade 0 each turn for your overdress plays. For our normal orders we run, I run the 1 copy of Forbidal Surrogate. You having this piece be a Regalis piece, you can only run 1 Regalis piece in your deck. You search your deck or drop for a total of up to 2 grade 3 or 4 unit cards with different card names. Reveal them, call all the grade 3 cards to rear, and put all the revealed grade 4 cards into hand. And if you searched your deck, you shuffle your deck. So this card is awesome in this deck, just being able to search for both your Virena Asperidea and your Mahar Nirvana. And since they're both grade 4s, you'll add both of them to your hand for you to use. And then you can either use the overdress play or have the discard cost. If you're already in your Mahar Nirvana grade 4, you'll have the card descend off of your grade 4 Vanguard. If not, you'll be able to ride it the following turn if you're still on grade 3. And then you'll have the Virena Asperidea to overdress into as well. It's a searcher for both the cards, since the card specifies you call all your grade 3s and put all the revealed grade 4s into your hand. So with this, being able to search out 2 grade 3 or 4 unit cards with different card names, they don't have to be the different, grade numbers. They don't have to be 1 grade 3 or 1 grade 4. You could just search 2 grade 4s off of this card. So definitely do recommend to run Forbidal Surrogate in your overdress stacks. With our trigger lineup being the 8 criticals, so the 4 copies of Blaze Maiden Zone and the 4 copies of Burning Flail Dragon for the additional soul buildup, with the other trigger spot being the 3 draws Flare Veil Dragon for the additional 5k shield that this card provides also when going up against your opponent. And then for the heals, the 2 copies of Blaze Maiden Rona, the 1 copy of Cure Flare Draco Kid, and the 1 Stealth Fiend Amaviera for the heal line. If you want to go all generic, you could put in Roja for all of these spots. It's more player preference, with our overtrigger being our Dragveda for the restand pressure. Being able to restand a grade 4 Vanguard with triple drive, it means all the pressure being able to check 6 cards off your drive check in 1 turn when you reveal your Dragveda off of your Mahar Nirvana Vanguard. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I like updating these older decks that we had. We had the original support for Nirvana from set 4, and we're soon coming up on set 11. So it's definitely been a while since we've had the Overdress deck with its full power revealed, and getting new cards from the festival booster definitely is great just to add to update these older decks. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.